Rashad Jennings situation really made me think. I said, we got to talk to a respected guy that's been in that Giant culture, and that's Chris Snee, the former Giant, and it's nice to pop on with us now. Chris, we start off with this. Was Rashad Jennings wrong to give that inside information after that game that Eli told him not to score?
Absolutely, and I think he realized that immediately after, and therefore the apology came out. So, I was always one that, believed that whatever discussions were had amongst the team stayed amongst the team, and that's kind of always been the code that I've lived by. And when I was there, most of the guys abided by it. So, from what I know about Rashad, is he's a stand-up guy and a good teammate, and I think he realized his mistake as a man would do, and he admitted to it.
All right, let's go back to those mistakes, Chris. Now, you've been in that huddle. You know Eli Manning. You certainly know Tom Coughlin. Can you wrap your mind around how that series of events could have happened in the first place on Sunday?
No, I can't. And you know what? I'm over a year removed from that locker room, and I tell you, I didn't sleep after that game one bit. I was up, confused by it, and just sounded like there was a lot of mistakes and a lot of people admitting in the wrong in the way that went down. It was really a shame because a lot of guys, individuals, play their hearts out, and I hate to see it end up the way that it did.
We're so much of a society where we think one thing has an effect on another, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. I think it's a fan-driven thing. Well, that's the kind of loss that will resonate all year. And Tom Coughlin today, so we're on to our next game. But does that game have a lasting effect because it was such a vicious ripping of a win away from a team that this was a game that they had won and it's taken away? Does it have a lasting effect?
I know the teams that I were on, it wouldn't have had that effect, and I think the fact that they do have the same leadership, they won't allow that to happen. I would assume. I know there's a lot of youth, a lot of new faces on that team, but this really is a week-to-week thing. And they can take a lot of positives out of that game. I know one loss is all that matters. Listen, I understand that, but that was a tough environment to go into. Complete contrast from a year ago when they went into Detroit and were outmanned. A lot of, like I said, there were a lot of positives to take out of that game, and that's, I'm assuming, what Coach is preaching this week.
And could it be a driving force? I mean, the one good thing that's not comparable to 2010 against the Philadelphia Eagles or blowing the lead against the 49ers in the 0-2 playoffs, there is a tomorrow. Matter of fact, there are 15 of them, Chris. So can this be something they can circle and use as an inspiration to prove the world wrong? Because right now, I think the believers have all jumped off the ship.
Yeah, and that's, you're exactly right. I've been trying not to listen to and read the papers and listen to people I interact with. But, yeah, a lot of people have jumped off, and that's fine, and that's where I talk about the guys in that locker room. They seem to thrive on it. I know I did, and our group did. We thrived when people counted us out, and, but it is one game, a game where, like I said, there were a lot of positives, a lot of things they can build on from a week one game. So, all they can bank on is that they're coming home in front of their fans, hopefully a fan base that is going to be fired up and make things difficult for Matt Ryan and his team. So, 15 games to go, and and a tough Falcon team coming in, so they have to move on.
All right, Chris, what are you up to now?
Well, actually, your phone call got me from batting practice, got me away from batting practice in the front yard with my kids, which seems to be a daily occurrence. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm consumed with them. I volunteer at a local high school, Indian Hills High School, with their football team, and then help with my son's football team. So that's pretty much it. Kids, they're taking up most of my time.
Well, we thank you for popping on with us. We always enjoy talking to you. Thank you so much, Chris.